ESEA.
Volcanoes, Jalapenos, Halvor Vendetta Gillestol, North vs Fnatic. They all have one thing in common, that's because they are hot. It's the hot match of the week, and we do have Halvor joining us, as well as Jacob. No offense, Jacob, I would have included you, it's just too many syllables.
That's fine.
You understand. Xfinity Analyst Desk, that's where we reside. I am the host Machine, I'm joined by Vendetta and Pimp. And we're talking about the hot match of the week. This is good, boys. We get Fnatic versus North. And this is where we can have some fun, because I personally did not give Fnatic enough credit. I mean, I think in my kind of top 6, I ended up being a fool and putting like the likes of North up there,
Yeah.
G2 were up there, Fnatic weren't, and I'm starting to regret that, as not only have they done Katowice, WESG back-to-back, now they're walking into the Pro League, and I imagine they've had some sleep now.
Well, to be fair, I wouldn't actually blame you for doing that as well. To start things off, obviously they had a pretty good showing, you know, in the regular season of last year of Pro League, right? But never really managed to do anything when they come to the LAN playoffs and so on. They were kind of just a flash in the pan. And you can't classify them as onliners in that sense. Obviously, they do have a marriage from the biggest events in the world, but they never really seemed to be able to mesh properly once they got to LAN. And I figured at that point, it's just like, okay, they've kind of had their honeymoon period only extending to online gameplay, and it's going to fizzle out. It's going to be back to rough ship and tough times for Fnatic, but they kind of turned things around, which is really cool to see, but definitely wasn't something I expected.
And you know what we didn't expect is to see the tweet coming out from Golden, I stay, with a full stop at the end. Now, Jacob, there has been a lot of kind of mess surrounding the Swedish roster. They succeeded in Katowice. Immediately, rumors started to spread like wildfire. The free agent exists, of course, in-game leader for NIP, leaving the team after what's like 3-4 years. Now was going to be joining that roster, and Golden has announced that he will be staying. What do you make of that whole shenanigan with the will he, won't he nonsense?
I mean, it's one of those cases where it kind of showcases Fnatic's ambitions, I'd say, because Fnatic have been one of those teams pretty much since forever. Have been playing well. Season 6 in the online stages, they ended up winning the entire season.
Yeah.
They went to the playoffs. They were okay. I think they went out to FaZe in a match where they had a game in that match, you know. And then they had one tournament at Star Leather where they didn't do well, and then they won Katowice. They won the WSG. If you look at this lineup compared to all the other European teams right now, it's probably one of the most consistent teams we have in the world. So the fact that they wanted to change Golden doesn't really come off to a thing where it's like anything playing wise. It's more like probably personality, something along those lines, and the fact that they were playing so good online and didn't manage to turn it into tournament winnings before Katowice. And you know, as you know, winning heals all its wounds, and it seems like it's one of those cases where we can't kick a guy who we just won one of the biggest tournaments with. So let's try again.
One of the really weird things about for me though is that the proposed lineup change that was obviously exists coming in is that one of the things that helped Fnatic turn things around, even in the online play in last season of Pro League, was the fact that they had a more tactical approach to the game. Exist's in-game leader style has never been very tactical in any sense of the word. So at that point, you've kind of had the core of Fnatic realize that we need to change up our game style from what we did in 2015 and so on into 2016, because that's not working anymore. And then find some remote success, starting to see positive signs, and then being like, all right, we've done that, it's working out well, but let's go back to what we were failing at.
And that's something you have to remember. They used to play with Pronax, which is one of those guys. Like Pronax exists, doesn't have too big of a difference, despite that Exist arguably is a better player and has more fragging abilities. So it wouldn't be too outrageous to think that Fnatic lured themselves into thinking, you know, we did this with Pronax, so we can do it with Exist as well, and playing that style of Counter-Strike.
But I mean, you have
That's
to...
exactly.
You have to just look at the fact that you got no results.
Exactly.
You added a member from your academy team and you took off. You know, I mean, look at their season record so far. You can see that it hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. In fact, conceding games to Hellraisers in a close fashion. They did manage to get the 2 wins. You can see the loss in the win column there. Wins versus NIP and G2. Losses versus Mouse and Hellraiser. Almost it'd be more believable if you flipped them over.
Yeah.
But it does show that just how competitive Counter-Strike has been as of late, and it does make a whole lot of sense when you realize that Hellraisers and Mouse Sports have been on the up and up.
Yeah, definitely have two very strong teams, and it's kind of the sign of the times, I guess, that nobody's really safe. You don't necessarily have a clear-cut favorite anymore in the EU standings, which is both good and bad.
Yeah.
Some of it is off the back of teams not necessarily playing up to their full potential, but obviously there is improvements happening as well.
Yeah, now Jacob, I do have a question just in terms of kind of from a player's perspective, in terms of like just playing so much Counter-Strike. They got back from WSG and they did lose 16-1 versus Astralis the day after a landing. Is it safe to assume we can just completely write that one off as just you've just got back from winning $800,000, Chip, you're going to be a little off your game?
You sure can. Like, it's a long travel. Probably went out partying after winning 800 grand, you know. it's fair enough. These guys are players and they're human beings, so they gotta enjoy the success they also have.
We can forgive them a bit.
Exactly. There's nothing to be put into that. Astralis as well, if you take their matchup, it's a team on the uprise as well. They're starting to get better and better with Magic's boys, so wouldn't read too much into that one, especially not going up against North, who's a team that is struggling a lot right now. So I think it's going to be one of those games where we can expect Fnatic to be in full force. Also, you said, and you just showed it, they're 4-4. They're by no means safe making the playoffs. So this game is very important for them, and it's also very important for North. So we should expect two teams going up full strength, basically.
Talking of North, they have been having a nightmare. Not only head-to-head, but also just in general. They haven't won a game in the last 5 matches they've played. You can see that every time they do meet, it is indeed a close affair. It does seem like North have been getting the edge of them as of late. But if you do actually stop putting them head-to-head and just look at how North have been doing recently, they have lost to everyone. I mean, take a look at this one. Splitting series seems to be their trend. They did manage to pick up 2 versus LDLC, but that's about it.
And the problem with this is like they're losing to teams like Envious. They're losing to LDLC. They're dropping a map against Heroic, or 2 maps against Heroic. Like, these are not the strong teams in the league. These are the teams that you expect North to go up 2-0 against, and then you have to fight against the Fnatic. You have to fight against the FaZe for the nitty-gritty points. But already now putting them in a position where they're 4-8 and basically gave Envious their only victory in the season, it's a telling story for North not being where they should be after this switch with Kirby. I think we all expected more from that.
Yeah, and I mean, you're losing Kirby as well. It's not like he felt like a vital ingredient, at least not in my mind. He didn't feel like he was
the linchpin.
The linchpin, the catalyst to their success in any stretch of the imagination. However, you get Mertz, and I mean, Cbble admittedly was such a consistent element within North. To see him leave, perhaps that's actually something that we haven't explored enough, is that Cbble did leave as well. And let's not forget, though not flashy, he did provide a degree of consistency and, what's the word, experience.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. And I guess what North is left with, I guess, is more of a clear-cut role for each and every player.
Sure.
So that is something, I guess, long-term that you can build off of, and it's easier to do so than we're having, I guess, hybrid players that don't necessarily feel comfortable in the positions you put them in. But yeah, no, there is something to be said that. I think they've gone the wrong way about it, like what players went in and what players went out in that sense, because we've seen the issue with AZ, is on screen right now, the fact that he's never been able to hit his full stride because he's always ended up being the third string player, the third string star player really in the lineups he's gone into. If you think about the older iterations of North, it was Config and Magisk that were given the space to deal with, and AZ is not really a player that shines the brightest when he has to, do a lot with the little. That's more to, down to your support list. Like, if you had Sipnix in that kind of role, that would have been perfectly fine. That's something you would have liked to see.
If you have Sipnix in your team, you're
happy.
Well,
exactly. But it's the same thing like with the very old lineup of Dignitas with Rubino in it. Rubino is a more suited player for that kind of a play style than AZ is, because you've seen what AZ could do when he's actually given the space. But now you've, again, brought in new elements to the team. You don't put Kirby in kind of a backseat position. AZ, especially considering recent form, take the lead again. Like, that's just not how it's going to pan out. And so I think that's still like the main core of the issue for North is still around even after all these lineup changes, and I think that's why we're seeing them having so many struggles.
Would you guys hate me if I suggested that North have got worse because they lost Config, and Config did have those map-winning presence?
They're like a firepower, basically. When you look at North's lineup right now, they don't have the firepower to match anyone in top 5, basically, and that's why they see themselves as a team. They want to be a top 5 team in the entire world.
That's what the org wants them to be.
Exactly, and like being a top 10 team with the firepower like a top 20 team, it is just not enough. MSL can only do this much with this team. We've seen what AZ could do in the future, or in the past. We've seen what Kirby did in the past, but this is the present, and we just haven't seen anything from neither of those guys on the same level. So I'm really wondering whatever this is going to work out. It is a long-term project for sure, but how long do they actually have on an organization like North, owned by FC Copenhagen? I know them from being Danish. This is a team in football, that wants to be considered the best at what they do, no matter what they do. So having a Counter-Strike team that is the second best Danish team, not even a top 10 team in the world right now, I'd say, that's simply just not good enough. So how much time do they actually have to turn around the ship? That's the problem I see here. Also coming up Copenhagen Games, which is a big thing in Denmark. They're currently preparing for that full-time, boot camping, using their facilities at FC Copenhagen. So if they don't win this one, if they don't show us any progress right now, I'm starting to thinking that this North project is going to fail a bit.
But it's sad as well, because I do love the concept of the North project. It's like the anti-Astralis. You've got real young talent with a seasoned leader who are just planning on fragging and body bagging. Now, it does say Kirby is going to be doing them. I was going to say the most frags. It does actually seem like Mertz has been just doing a little more.
Done a bit more too.
Than that.
But I guess the one really striking thing is that nobody's in the plus on North side, and obviously that has to do with the fact that they are sitting 4 and 8. So that is going to affect your KD overall, but you would have at least hoped that one of your players have stuck out as a bit of a
No one
shining
is
light.
positive. Good grief. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's by pretty significant margin as well. One thing I've been surprised, obviously haven't been able to see in all of North games due to different time zones and
Been
whatnot.
asleep most of the time.
Valda seemed to be finding his spot in North, kind of as he was coming into it, and I thought that had kind of held up. Apparently not as much, because he would have been like, it would have been him and Kirby that I would have imagined they started building around in terms of being the two focal points of the team, which again leaves AZ out in the cold. But
which shouldn't be the case, let's be honest. This guy, AC, for 2 years ago, when I played with him in Dignitas, he was arguably, to my understanding, one of the best players in the world. He was definitely a guy you could rate within the top 5 player in the world, especially with the rifles. He was so strong with both the AK, both the M4, and was like, we see a lot of players, being either very strong on the T side or either strong on the CT side. AC had it all back then. So it's a guy that we constantly in Denmark and MSL constantly is trying to figure out how are we going to make him work the same way he did. And at some point, you just got to give up. At some point, you just have to say, this is not working anymore. He's not the same player anymore. He may not have the same mentality anymore. So can we use him in another way? That's what I think they're trying now. And again, if this fails out, it would be him being on the chopping block for the next change on that lineup.
Yeah, I think he's just a Counter-Strike Samson. He chopped off his hair and lost all his power. I think that's the AZ story.
2 years from now on, when all that hair is back.
Once he's grown it all back, he'll be re-emerging into Counter-Strike Future Offensive or whatever the game will be.
Do you think we'll actually see them getting desperate enough to the point where they buy hair extensions for
honestly,
AZ?
I think FC Copenhagen are scrolling through the hair extension website right now.
We got the money, right? So.
Yeah, exactly.
Need to find something.
Could be a quick fix.
Yeah, and that's what they're looking for. I mean, this is a team that are in disarray, and I feel like I'm saying that an awful lot in Counter-Strike at the moment. There's a lot of teams and a lot of rosters that just seem to be scrapping, trying to find a winning formula, because you've got FaZe Clan who just walk around and getting to grand finals when they want to get to grand finals, and you have to find something to beat that. And it does seem like it's caused quite an element of confusion and change within the majority of the top tier Counter-Strike.
Yeah, no, it is pretty chaotic, and it's the opposite of the honeymoon period for every team. It seems like it's divorce proceedings.
What can we call it? So we've got honeymoon period,
divorce proceedings.
Divorce proceedings are going on right now. I like that.
I think that's the most apt way, because it has to be right. Honeymoon, divorce, the end of all.
Yeah,
there's a lot of relationships right now being tested out there. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think I'd run out of fingers to count how many teams are looking off at the moment, which is kind of not fun for someone that wants to look at world-class Counter-Strike.
Which should be a great motivator for those teams that actually are not finding themselves off, to step it up a notch, or for some of the new teams who are currently not being rated within the top 20 teams in the world, give it an extra notch and get in there and tip some of those teams who are not finding their will right now.
Okay, so let's take SK out of the equation, because that's a big question mark. But other than that, if we were building a top 5 right now, I think, in my mind, I'd go FaZe, Fnatic,
Liquid,
Cloud9 might even be up there because from the major.
I wouldn't even say Cloud9. No, they've been pretty.
I'd say Mousesports is
Mousesports. Mousesports
a
is good.
shout. Let's have a look. So HLTV's rankings from the 19th of March have FaZe, Cloud9, Fnatic, Liquid, SK, Mouse.
I would.
Na'Vi are above Astralis. God, this world is changing.
I guess in terms of very recent form, which would be very, very recent, I would have Mousesports, FaZe, obviously in no particular order. Yeah, Mouse, FaZe, Liquid, Astralis, and
then everyone else. 5, Fnatic, and then that's
Fnatic,
good.
Yeah, I think that would be it right now. But that's not a whole lot. If you go back a couple of months, it was everyone within the top 12 can kind of just, beat each other.
Well, right now it's top 20.
In a good way. It's just it's competitive at this point. Now it's more everyone's collapsing against each other, and that's
for example,
not where you want it.
For example, Team 1 are now ranked 20th in the world.
Which is ridiculous. Let's be honest.
That's off of one event.
They won.
But that tells a story of how ridiculous the scene is right now.
Yeah.
We're losing Immortals. Immortals was one of the great cases. We don't have that team anymore. NTC now are also a complete shamble of a team. Virtus Pro obviously in the dark, not here anymore. Gambit won a major. What is that? Under a year ago now, not even in top 15 anymore.
I'm going to break down here.
There's so many teams who were so good, but just didn't manage to put up with it. And I'm not gonna say the word, but maybe it could have something to do with being a little bit oversaturated and having so much different stuff to focus on at all times. These teams are playing 20, 25 tournaments a year, traveling 150, 200 days a year, and everyone expects them to be on the same level at all times, which is physically, mentally not possible.
You say that, but teams like Virtus Pro have had plenty of time to rest up.
Okay.
So
that's a different story.
Yeah, no,
but you're right though.
There's a difference between being oversaturated and just being let's go to the game.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it. Gambit, Immortals, two teams who are in a grand final of a major.
They're
We
gone.
don't talk about them at all anymore. Lost into the depths of either teams disbanding or MDL. They joined an organization and didn't play a single game. Virtus Pro, of course, were lighting up Katowice and, you know, an awesome storyline. We saw them in Atlanta. God, that wasn't that long ago. We were in the Fox Theatre and they were playing a grand final. You know, like, that was awesome. What else we got? How else can we add to that list? Astralis, a team that we were always perpetually talking about, getting to those semi-finals. Now they've got Magisk, and we have zero idea of what to expect
North
from them.
is getting there if they
North,
keep doing this.
North were a team who we were constantly going to be like, okay, guys, they're going to get through to the playoffs, and then if they don't get phased, they'll do well. Like, that was the kind of storyline there. You know, Space Soldiers have come out of nowhere, and now a team that were not out of nowhere. That's an exaggeration, but we're a team that we, you know.
They were just like fringe.
They were a team we talked about kind of get to the Pro League and then give them a couple of years and they'll be able to
Envy
get
is completely gone as well.
Envy's
Like,
is dead, yeah.
G2 are, well,
G2
it's
is
tough
dead.
to tell where they are right now, but yeah, it's a bit up in the air.
Point being, we could keep continuing going with that conversation, right? But it just paints a picture of how chaotic the scene is right now. There's so many teams who are not finding themselves,
Give
and
me
everyone is
stability.
trying. You know, everyone is trying their absolute hardest to find that stability. G2 taking in Mixwell, you know, making a big change in getting rid of Shocks in that sense, getting rid of their coach in Smits as well. So these teams are trying, and it's going to be like a race, a horse race to see who gets first. You know, who gets the fundamentals down first, who gets the confidence back, and when you do that, you slowly but surely pick the other guys.
And if anything, I think that's more of a reason why Fnatic should have kept Golden and do keep Golden.
Exactly.
Because guys,
You're the one
everyone else is making changes. You're winning tournaments. Just stop.
That's what Khan
Stay.
told them, you know. That's
Yeah,
definitely what Khan has
probably.
been telling them, you know. But they probably would have wanted to change Golden if it weren't for like having Fnatic as an organization. You know? And that tells maybe we can stretch it out a little bit, but that tells like how the player mentality is between a lot of players. You know, if something is not working on a personal level, then we have a tendency to just go, okay, he's gone from the lineup. I don't want to play with him. Yep, but we're winning. We're winning IEM. Yep, I don't care, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to play with
screw
him.
Yeah.
You have the adult guys, you have the mature guys, you have the contracts to now take into account as well. So I think it's a good thing for the scene, and it's getting us to be a little bit more mature in that sense. Whereas a year ago, 2 years ago, we just kicked those players that we didn't want to play with.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think managing personalities is always going to be, you know, as the money increases and as the prestige increases and everything else, you know,
Egos increases.
Egos will increase as well, and that's, yeah, we know what happens there. Humans suck. Okay, last question. Then we are going into our first map. It's going to be Cobblestone for our hot match of the week. I need a prediction and a reason. Halvor, hit me up first.
I'm going to start with Fnatic again. Nothing really
Too
gives me
much to-
any good reason to believe in North. I guess the one silver lining here is they're going to be playing Cobble. If you want to go way back
That's
into
something.
that, exactly, yeah, that is familiar territory. But I still think Fnatic should be better. Again, it's the consistency factor. The only thing North have been consistent at so far in Pro League is being not that great. So, and yeah, you don't get a lot of wins that way.
I'll give you that one. And Jacob, from you.
I'm going to side with North on this one, considering the map is Cobblestone. It is a map that Cabby and MSL together have redefined, basically, when they were Dignitars back in the day. So they know how to play this one. Also, Fnatic just came home from China. We saw them yesterday, not playing up to pair, and it takes a few days to get settled down to your normal rhythm, you know, jet lag, all that kind of
That's
stuff.
true.
That said as well, North are currently preparing Hearts Out, going into Copenhagen games. Might sound a little bit silly for a team like them, but it means the world to them to do well at Copenhagen games. Nobody in Denmark really likes North in that sense. They love Astralis, but North is whoever. So if they don't go into Copenhagen game, demolish everyone, and win that tournament, it's going to be a huge scalp on their shoulder as well. So they should be top tuned, top prepared for this one.
Yeah.
So if they don't win this one, then I'm going to stop believing in this North lineup.
Damn, I love it. Shots fired, and we are going to be getting into this one. And I'm going to be walking over to the caster desk now, because that's what I'm going to be up to. Sit cheers,
See
guys.
you.
See you in a bit. That's Halvor and Jacob. I'm going to try it out over here.
Hey man,
Hey, man.
what's going on?
I'm well.
We've been waiting for a while to have this. Have we ever casted together?
Yeah, we have a little
Did we?
couple of times, I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember.
You neither.
We cast in the green room to entertain
That's
all
true.
the other stuff.
Does that count?
I don't know. We did it a lot at Starlighter, didn't we?
Yeah, but I don't know if we've ever actually casted together.
We're getting some giggles.
Yeah.
Parla was trying.
Yeah, look, he's not a caster.
No, he's not a caster, but we're going to get stuck into this one. It's time. North taking on Fnatic. Hot match of the week, as you guys have already outlined, on Cobblestone. One where North in the past have shown they're a force to be reckoned with. Can they do it now with the roster changes? I know Valde is a very powerful CT player, and they're opening it up. MSL, maybe with a sensitivity change, going to find the opening kill there. Chase down, 3 HP remaining. We are in a 4v4. We're finding a lot of damage there over towards Kyobi, and wants to keep taking the long-range duel with that Glock as the rest of the Fnatic members appear to be dropping back. They want to hit B. You can see the territory now that JW has. He's been able to play the rotation, get himself in a sneaky beaky position. Kill some players on that rotation.
Hello.
No, he's here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hope so.
Wonderful. All right, well, let's get into this one then. MSL, just a scrap of HP for him to work with, but the bomb is coming straight into his domain, and we are going to be seeing him chopped down to size, and this is going to be intriguing to see if AZ can do anything with this. Likelihood is a big fat no, unless that's a smooth kill. The answer is not going to be as nice for any North fans out there. Instead, he's just going to be stuck in limbo, and we have the first.
The round did start really nicely for North there. MSL finding the opening towards middle, but Mertz getting instantly traded. MSL losing a heap of HP in that exchange, and then getting chased down. Lycra finding a nice long-range Glock duel. Things definitely didn't fall in the favor of North there at all. Now, we are going to see them opt to take just a pistol upgrade. There's no armor being bought on anyone on the
cold
squad.
water is lovely, Chad,
It is quite beautiful, isn't it? Especially in this part of the world. You know,
just
Sweden.
real ice cold
You can drink from the faucet here.
Of course, yeah.
You can't do that everywhere in the world.
No, I mean, it just works my immune system. I like to think it's a bit of a challenge, you know.
I've been sick for 3 weeks, so let's not talk about immune systems.
Yeah, you poor soul. Okay, so Flusher pulling out the MP7. JW again beheading AZ, and this will be a quick one. No armor. I like that the 5.7's coming out, though, from Valda. You know, we get to see a pistol that isn't the CZ.
I would prefer if he had the CZ, he may have made that kill.
Sure, okay. But at least he's mixing it up. We're not seeing that 100% CZ.
While we have these eco bashes to do with,
Yeah.
see what is on your screen right now that I opened while you were doing that lovely segment?
I do see this, and I did see this.
He deleted the tweet, and apparently the tweet longer only had a letter, but Taco made a tweet not very long ago, within the last 10 minutes, saying 27 months and today the farewell with a tweet longer, but the tweet longer didn't say anything. So this simple thing, a lot more validity being given to it with tweets like that coming out on the interwebs. Here we have a flash picked up in MSL's hands, a B-stack coming out from North, so they're probably going to throw a pop flash, take a duel as a team. Whether it's an aggressive duel, the flash has already gone out, so there it is. They're not going to find anything. They're just going to get mowed down. That's really not the way that I would opt to use it.
How would you have kind of approached that? Just have everyone ready and then...
Yeah, maybe let them get to the platform so you can take multiple duels from angles. You can't all jump up on the platform together as CTs, especially long range, with the pistols, with the USPs, taking fights against AK-47s, UMPs. That's definitely not the recipe for success.
Absolutely not, and it is just going to be easy with his USP. And we finally get to watch some Counter-Strike because they're 3-0s, and we are going to be having a bye coming in now from North.
Let's raise the energy. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Get on up, ladies and gentlemen, on Facebook.
CS time.
Cool, run it. Oh, wait, no. Yep, it's Counter-Strike time. Never mind.
No bobsledding here. Double up immediately. Good God, calm down, North. They're throwing all of their coins into the wishing well. Mertz and AZ. So where does AZ choose to take the secondary orb? Mertz is going to be given the responsibility of A, I believe. Yeah, okay, so he's going to be holding the doors cross, and it'll be AZ setting himself up in Coop. Now, double orbs on the CT side of Cobble, Chad, I imagine is something that makes you a happy bunny, but it's more of a panic button you usually describe it as.
Yeah, it doesn't really need to come out too early, especially when Mertz isn't playing assertive towards A. He's actually the rotator. He's the linchpin here. As you can see, he's moving around a lot between connector, vent room, etc. So he's not going to be able to find frags, and that's how he is normally better plied with the AWP.
Why is he so mobile?
Yeah, he's moving around a lot, got ants in his pants. There has been a lot of interesting decisions coming out from Mertz. His development as a player, he's kind of been thrown into the deep end, and you can see in matches against the tier 1 opponents that maybe he'll make a couple of mistakes, but this is a good position that he's found himself in.
So, blood drawn. Crims is going to be leveling the playing field. Fnatic now 4-4. Bomb on the other side of the map here. We do continue to keep our eyes on Mertz. In a bit of a standoff now with Flusher, both just playing the waiting game. The clock will continue to dwindle, though. 48 seconds and counting as Fnatic start to group up their resources towards the A side. And there's the first test for Mertz. Passes with flying colours, and the in-game leader finds himself watching from the sideline. 3 remain for Fnatic.
The interesting thing is how 30 seconds left on the clock. Fnatic are kind of committed to A at this point. They have enough utility to smoke off the doors and Molotov a few choke points. The question mark is, will the rotation come in from Kirby? He is playing connector. He is close to help out MSO and Mertz.
Honestly, I think the clock's going to be Fnatic's biggest enemy here. Mertz, as long as he plays it passive. Kirby, what's he doing? He's getting licked by the flames, and it looks like perfect positioning from Lekra. They're all going to fall. Kirby puts up a last stand, and Crims, plenty of time to get that bomb down. Tries to draw a player out, but Kirby, despite his shortcomings to handling that Molotov, he will bring the round and the AWP home.
That setup, right, the North run, they're one of the only teams in the world who I see do it. When they get late round, a player gets on the barrels where MSO was playing, and then they have an AWP like Traka in the sight. The amount of times I have seen the T's sneak up past the line of sight that barrels player has and punish them is ridiculous. This is going back to think it was Malmo last year. I remember talking about it on the desk there. It's a setup which never seems to pay dividends for North, and I'm surprised that they stuck with it. Kirby there with the clutch, with the big frags. That's with an opening.
Done it again. This time a bit more aggressive on towards A-Long, something he does like to do. And AZ back in that double up. Isn't going to be able to find anything just yet. Spoke too soon. JW emerges from the smoke and meets the bullet. And now just 3 do remain. Are they going to continue this aggression? Looks like Lekro wants to try and use that smoke to some degree. I think instead he's just going to try and get himself into a slightly less predictable position. It works. Beheads Valda. Kirby, however, trades, and that's the platform clear for now. Golden will just find the one from E-Box, and look at this, just the trading game. Crims is the last man standing, and AZ's going to greet him again. Good work.
Yeah, just for people watching at home going, what's going on with Fnatic here? Why does it seem so free-flowing? They know that they took a lot of guns in that last round, so to have that double AWP set up again, you know, they might not have been able to find it, or Kirby might not have been able to pick it up in time. There's those question marks, but more so, when Flusher went down, JW kind of felt he had to make a play, and early it just seems like they want to get picks. They just want to play a free-flowing style before they get stuck into the strat-heavy play, which isn't so bad. It is the T side of Cbble. You know, you do have a lot of rounds to work with here, and they're going to have to take a save. They've got a couple of upgraded pistols, 2 CZs.
Zeds.
There it is.
Flusher doing what he does best with that pistol. Honestly,
Did the AWP fly away?
I didn't see it. The nade may very well have done its job. He hasn't got it.
Oh, it was an M4. Never mind. The AWP is still alive. Oh, did it go up there?
What?
What? That's not
Cameraman?
nice. Oh, it is there.
Oh, you hate to see it.
So he dropped the nade when he died, and it blew the AK all the way up there.
That, I'm going to say intentional.
He's not going to be able to see it.
No, it's over.
Oh, man. That sucks, because Flusher with the CZ only gets 100. Oh, he got it. Hey.
Oh, through the floorboards.
The magician.
Now, watch if this AK is the winning element from Fnatic.
You would love it.
You would, wouldn't you? I mean, it looked like MSL had done some ninja mechanics with his frag grenade, but not enough. And we prepare ourselves once again for this Fnatic 2-2 split. This time, of course, yet to lose a player, and therefore there's a third backing them up.
Oh, that's cool.
On A.
See, this is like in the mid-round, preparing for aggression. That stack is cool. They're not just being stagnant doing the normal thing. Now they've gone for drop control. Only going to find both kills, so neither A player needs to rotate. Kirby lines up one and doesn't get anything done.
Lekro's actually put a bullet into his leader. That's a problem now. Another one dropped. This time it's working well. It's a 1v1. Flush is actually making this AK work spectacularly. He's already got 3. AZ's trying to retake with the AWP now. It's certainly not something you would put an awful lot of faith in. Flusher, could you calm down? Going aggressive. And that's going to be the end of that, Chad. We said what if, and it happens. He's going to grab the AWP as well.
No,
doesn't want it. T-side Cbble. And look at this. This mission of retrieval is going to pay dividends. Finally gets it with a jump into the ceiling.
Did he even mean at that point to... Did he
I'm going to assume that's what it looked like. No one else is going to be... Like, he knew it was stuck. Shoved his head against the roof.
Jeez, that's a tough way to lose the round.
MSL is going to be so upset about that.
I can imagine Flusher giggling away in TeamSpeak right now. Just the absurdity of that. But the force buy does come out from North. They want to contest this. They don't want to let the economy build up for Fnatic. On this MP9, Deagles, 5-7. What the bloody hell's going on there? But MSL does have an M4.
Mertz and MSL, both aggressive on long, and it's going to be a bit of a problem now because here they come charging up ramp as a squad. The nades are going to rain in, and so far, still 10 men in the server. No one yet to take too much damage. AZ down to 52 though, and it does look like this is going to be a bit of a retreat. Now, what's instigated that, Chad? Why a sudden change of heart?
Great question. They definitely drew out that rotation, and they didn't really see a lot to force them to fall back. So a good decision considering the over-rotation. Now, if they just chill and wait it out, they can reinitiate on this A bomb site. They just need to try and trade out a little bit more efficiently than what just transpired. MSL goes fishing.
Change the sensitivity again.
This is the map that he had a good game on.
That's true.
Good Malmo flashback, Alex.
All over the shop. 2 left then. Fnatic boys. JW's not going down without somewhat of a fight though. Catches Valder. He's got great positioning to find the next. AZ falls. Bomb miles away though. This is going to be 2 separate missions in the bomb loose. The 5-7 of Kirby actually working. That sidearm's going to be working wonders. Now JW's life just got considerably worse.
I was about to point out the positive there that JW would have forced a rotation, but they must have known Flusher was in that part of the map with the C4. When you know that the bomb is kind of isolated, seeking out a kill like that, or at least information, and not over-rotating one at a time into JW, who was hitting some nice shots, makes a lot of sense. To get the bomb, they get to retrieve some lovely new weaponry, 2 AKs now. MSL still with that M4. And the force buy actually worked. You're right, though. That just seemed like some weird indecision by Fnatic there to throw all those nades and then just back completely off.
Because normally when that does happen, and it does, don't get me wrong, it does happen in Counter-Strike, there's usually some read. You get some read, like someone's on B and saying they've all rotated, and then you panic and you will pull back. Instead, it just felt like a bit of a miscall. And so looking at this buy, we are going to be having 3 AKs from Fnatic. They've won rounds with less, but are fully bought up north here, and no double AWP nonsense either.
Most interesting is Lekro on the Deagle. We all know how formidable he can be with that pistol. Hit some crazy shots.
We are going to be seeing defensive nades thrown out by the CTs. They're just looking to stem any early aggression that Fnatic would have been considering. They know the buy is not going to be perfect, and aggression can be a good way to counteract that. And talking of aggression, JW profits. AZ down. And ooh, nearly another. Lekro actually lays his life on the line, steps into the molly to take Valda. 3v3 then.
This definitely favors Fnatic right now in the sense of they're going to force North to over-rotate. They've had to split up now. We have 3 1v1 duels available for the Ts to find. If they regroup in a 3-pack, they should be able to trade efficiently and get onto the bomb site. The smoke coming out right now is meant to kind of quell Kyobi, but it's actually piqued his interest and he wants to go for information. Flashes over, is going to find nothing, but that's a call that means his connector player of MSL may potentially be able to rotate out of drop. Not to be.
Not just yet, of course. Paranoia starting to eat away at him. Could they be drop? It does sometimes get you caught out, but especially when it's paced like this, though. It's going to be all on one man only. Mertz, what can you do with the AK? Just the one. He's going to get a second, and it could very well be a third. Mertz saves the day. 3 swift frags and keeps the A side safe.
That's unfortunate because that Molotov was perfect, right? The issue that happens there is when you throw a Molotov, sometimes you get lazy. You just expect the Molotov to do the work. You have to expect the player to push out from that part of the map. So the Molotov landed, and you can see there, I think Golden was recovering from a flash, but wasn't ready for a player to push out from where that Molotov landed. Another key note in that round, you saw those defensive Molotovs come out early from North.
Yeah.
The timing when they're pushing the player out of the cutout, they were too late at jumping up, which allowed JW to use the timing of the pick to get close enough to find a kill in a position they weren't expecting. Good recovery from North, and definitely a good triple kill there from Mertz. Has forced Fnatic onto an eco round here, so this one should be pretty clean and easy for North. Shouldn't be too many dramas. Good chance to build a bit of a bank.
Should be. However, if Fnatic do get up to their usual shenanigans with pistols, this is not going to be a completely free round from North. They have to try and keep every ounce of weaponry into the next round. Nades, you're going to be wanting to use them as liberally as you want to, just to try and keep those pistols low. Those HEs, those Molotovs are ideal against those unarmored opponents.
It's actually a relatively slow game of Counter-Strike considering what we've seen this evening.
It's true.
Most rounds have been a bit more aggressive. And that's how Fnatic did start this one, but now that they're down to pistols, you would expect them to be quick.
It's such a horrible feeling as well when you're on a full Glock eco and you know what you're going up against. You just feel like such a fragile player. You just don't really feel like you're going to be able to achieve anything, and waiting for the round to get over, but approaching it slowly, and it's not going to be rewarded too much. Krims will make that Glock work, though, and that'll be pretty much all to write home about. Mertz plucks Krims from the air, and that will likely be the end of that. Just 9 points of health, and JW will have that removed for him, courtesy of AZ.
This is where I expect an adjustment coming from Fnatic, maybe like a contact play towards A long as a unit, and then pouts when they get Mertz out of position, or an execute, right? Maybe just a set piece on either the A or the B bomb site. Early, it was default spreads, going for picks. Now that they've kind of established that, it didn't work for them. This is where maybe something a little bit more tactical in an early approach kind of way would come out, and see if they can find a place that I guess there's a hole or there's a gap, a bit of a weakness.
Let's see if this is quick. They've been doing this an awful lot, getting early bodies towards B-Long, but they do just seem to be kind of swayed away with the quick application of a defensive smoke.
If you look to the top left of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the radar there and how all 5 members are clumped mainly over towards that B bomb site. So waiting up the early utility used from North right now, just posturing. They still have 3 smokes and a Molotov, so an execute can come in here.
Yeah, Mertz dying, though, on the aggressive push. He was pushing for info. He was having a sense of, well, exactly what's happening here. A Fnatic stack pushing to kind of gather that information for his team. But the patience is going to be punished. Flusher, I should say impatience. Flusher takes him down, and his job now is done. All he has to do is just continue to maintain presence here and keep that one player. It's going to be MSL locked in at A just because of that frag. This could be good for Fnatic. They're going to have the numbers on the execute. I like the position from Cbble there. And what's he done? AZ's got caught out. He has the AWP towards Plat, a crucial position to hold. And now AZ's down and out. It's all onto Valda then. Valda and Cbble left to keep this site safe. There is a flank coming in, but will it be in time? Valda will finish off the work, and Valda's done exceptionally. It's going to be thrown now into a 1 versus 1 as the frags and the dust does settle. For a moment. There is time, and that looks good. Golden's out of here. MSL puts on his basketball jersey for a moment and brings home another round for North.
Yeah, that positioning by MSL going so close on A, a lot of people would question that in the sense of this is a risk. If he goes down, it's now a 3-on-5.
Right.
But him playing so close allows information. If they sneak past him through A long, he can also flank and they can pinch the bomb site, putting themselves in a better after plant scenario. And he's able to flank the B bomb site much quicker than he would be able rotating through connector, being bottlenecked with the rest of his team. So good decision by the in-game leader right there, and he came up clutch there with 2 big frags. Back to the pistols for Fnatic now.
Yeah, they have not been having an economical dream so far here on this first half of our first map of our 3rd game here for match day. What is it now, 12?
MSL and Mertz are getting punished over towards A, especially like when they want to get a lick of aggression going on. And there's that Deagle from Lekra that I talked about. Definitely one of the best in the world with that gun.
Are we going to have flashbacks again?
Seems like the
MSL
same
dies,
thing, right?
gives them a rifle, they win with a half buy.
And they have a smoke on Lekra and a flash on Flusher. That's probably all they need.
Let's have a look though. Bomb spot far from A at this point in time, and so things will take somewhat of a slower pace. Keep your eyes though on how they start to posture towards B, whether or not they will be making noise in drop. 3 of them clumped up there at the moment. Is there anyone there to receive them? Doesn't look that way. Instead, they're playing passive. Valda with an angle on that jump out window. And now you can't help but worry. Mertz has a lot to do here. He's being pressured down to 62, but good trade from Cbble. And now here comes the waterfall of terrorists. It's not going to go well, though. Cbble, great spray control, and will struggle to finish the last. Close, but no cigar. But look at the amount of damage they've done with that round, Chad.
That was a really nice idea. So a lot of people wouldn't get the subtleties there, but Flusher pushing out the smoke. The idea is that a player is playing connector doors, looking down middle. You draw that player's attention, or you make him move a little bit from connector to take that fight, or to, you know, think that it's an A hit. As soon as you pull that player, the drop guys cascade over, they try and take that fight. They were set up for it, North. North were ready for it. They did fantastically well there to really stop that bleeding, but it was a cool idea by Fnatic.
Trying to catch that guy basically staring along.
That's the thing, though, right? Like, you see a player pushing out a smoke like that and taking a duel, and he puts someone in a lot of pressure there.
Sure.
You're going to rotate to help him. Here we go. The trade's over towards A again. So North have done so well so far when they've gone down a player, and here they are in a 4-on-4 once more. But they have opted for the A stack, so that is something which Fnatic definitely won't be expecting.
Yeah, an extra body. It's going to be MSL and Cbble in a really nice crossfire. So ever since they changed Danger, this has become such a deadly angle to clear for the terrorist side.
That's a problem.
That is a huge problem, because now JW is just going to be walking out, stretching his legs towards Chicken Coop and realizing, guys, we should probably get that bomb over here. That A stack is not going to go well. MSL on his rotate. Fortunately, that trade will come in. You said they wouldn't expect it, and indeed they don't, but bomb will definitely be going down here.
Save.
Yeah, you hit that the F12 key.
Yeah, it's not really worth going for this one, but Valda is curious.
Yeah, it looks like he might not be interested now. I think the Molotov may very well be enough to confirm it. Just going to try and keep himself safe and perhaps take one with him. And this will be a round then for Fnatic. This is AZ getting caught out. It does seem like... Ooh, calm down, JW. Let me finish my sentence, please. Thank you. But it does just seem like we're going to be seeing the Fnatic squad catching out a North player and the rest of the North squad stabilizing.
You kind of have to react, right? They are finding a lot of opening kills. It was early, pissed around, MSL got a kill, they still lost the round. Mertz did find an AWP kill early, I believe they lost the round. It seems weird when they are finding the opening and then still losing the round, but that's kind of sometimes you get a little bit complacent. We used to, Vox Eminol, early days, we used to do so much better when we were down in a man disadvantage scenario, because we'd take it more seriously.
Okay.
Well, because we played a lot just with domestically in Australia, right? And we were leaps and bounds above 99% of the other teams, right? There was probably only one other team that could even stand close to us. So when you're playing in that environment, everyone's a bit more blasé.
So you lose a player, you're like, oh.
All right, guys, now we have to try. It's like a handicap, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Probably not the same in this environment, I definitely wouldn't say. I walked past Valda the other day. It was last week. Yeah, I was walking to the office, and he was walking to the train. So I'd just gotten off the train, and he was going into the arena to practice. and we had a chat. It was a good chat. We talked about Counter-Strike, surprisingly. Yeah, who would have thought?
Crazy.
Topic close to all of our hearts, but real mixed buy scenario coming out from the North Squadron. MSL has that CZ. Well, this is the jump smokes. This is the NIP jump smokes we're going to see coming out from Fnatic right here.
But the question you always ask when you see the NIP smokes come out is whether or not they're actually going to be doing what NIP would do, which was, of course, you throw them and then you'd go for and execute on towards the B site. Or you throw these and you fake that and, of course, start walking towards A. Just look like it's going to be the latter. As you can see them rain out, trying to keep those CTs steady. But no, JW's gone down just a little prematurely. Man. And then you're going to see North just dig their heels in. No reactions, nothing going to come out of those smokes except lost utility. And here comes the charge towards A.
JW was trying to get up close to find a frag there, but really he's just ruined this entire round for Fnatic. I understand the rationale. However, him going down early means that... Oh, never mind. It's getting interesting.
It's starting to get interesting. Crim's heating up, gets 2, and does get the bomb down. That's going to shave some time off the clock and let him reposition. You can see Golden's actually going to be able to get a bit of a fight here on towards long if MSL's not careful. Timing is a itch, and that will be the end of that. MSL will behead Crims, and we have ourselves an 8 for North. Looking actually relatively stable here on the CT side. Things do get a bit more messy and clouded once they get to their T, but Fnatic still just trying to find their pace after what has been a bit of a busy month for them on the offline circuit.
Sure, winning Katowice, winning WSG, winning $1 million in, what, a 2.5-week time frame. Pretty nice.
Not bad.
What would you do with $1 million?
I'd probably spend $10,000 on the world's best financial advisor, and then they'd tell me what to do with it, and then never have to work again.
Would you buy some tech decks?
Like 3 or 4 tech decks.
Yeah, probably 3 or 4. Yeah, I would probably invest in property. Seems like a safe bet.
Not going to get much with $1 million though.
Like €1 million.
Yeah.
In Australia will get you something pretty nice.
Okay.
Buy a place on the beach.
Ooh, that is the dream, isn't it, champ?
That is my dream.
What was the beach called? Bondi?
Oh, Bondi's in Sydney. That's going to cost you more than...
Is that a gorgeous beach?
That's one of the most famous beaches in all of Australia. But I lived in Perth, which is... Western Australia has the largest coastline in all of Australia.
Oh, I'm learning.
Yes, we have some beautiful beaches, but we're not as popular as a Sydney. This should just be an eco-sport. That's why you're learning about Australia, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, sorry, just filling you in. This is why the lesson is in session. Hang on a second. JW's kissing someone in the smoke and has... Good God, I'm confused, and so is the observer. He's managed to walk straight past them.
With the bomb.
With the bomb. And he could very well be getting a plant here. The cheeky beaver has gone and got himself and his team an extra $800 or we could be seeing one of the most absurd rounds of Counter-Strike.
There's no way. There is no way that he wins this round.
I mean, if he manages to get 2 here, I'll say he does it. Patience.
Oh, he should have shot.
And that's the end of that one. Mertz does come in from drop. It could have been glorious. I liked the ninja maneuver, trigger discipline. You think he should have taken the shot?
I think
Just
so.
take a couple down with him.
Yeah, like trying to do a bit more damage. Obviously, the plant was fantastic. He heard the drop player, so maybe that's why he kind of hesitated at that point. But maybe just try and inflict as much damage as possible there. They would have been able to pick up any gun, even if they had killed an AWPer. But still, he would have made a frag, taken the armor, taken the nades, taken the kit, all that kind of fun stuff. At this point, though, it's the last round of the game. Doesn't really matter. We got the full buy coming out from Fnatic. They've got all the utility they require for whatever strategy they want to do. But they have 4 members very quickly over towards the A bomb site. Find contact with MSL playing up in that haystack area.
This is an important flashbang as well. MSL's going to eat it for breakfast. No, he's not. Perfect evasive maneuver for him, but the Molotov will stop anyone pushing off the back of that flash. A second rains in. He can hear it. And this is flashbangs in 2018. Not a single second of being flash in MSL. Mo's down 2. Not going to be another golden on the trade, though. Good God, flashbangs raining down all across the map, and as people's vision starts to return, you'll notice that one man has managed to get himself into the corner with that smoke. Look at this. He's going to be looking potentially pretty harmful. Crims will get 1, but Valda is going to be holding fast, at least for a moment. Now down to a 2 versus 2 here. This is looking winnable for Fnatic. Golden has the bomb to hand. He'll be able to get that down. And I love these plays from JW. He's just a bit of a smoke ninja, taking the helm from Snacks, and he's done it again. Look, just wanders through. All Golden has to do now is survive. Quite the contrary for AZ, taken down. Now just one left, Kyobi. And he is split. Slap bang sandwich between two of his opponents, and that's the start. Takes down JW eventually. Golden's had time to, well, potentially reposition, and therefore there is a bit more paranoia from Kyobi. I see time becoming a factor here as well. Golden, perfect work from him. Doesn't have to do anything else, just check it and deliver. Little
Got a bit spicy.
nerve-wracking towards the end there, but we have a 9-6 half.
Okay, so all in all, I'm going to give, I know North one more round, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but I'm going to praise North for their gamble stacks. I'm going to say they had some positive reads. The thing that let them down were the mid-rounds, where they were losing duels that they probably should have been able to collapse on as a unit. Fnatic did good to fight back in those scenarios. 6 is pretty good, all things considered, and I think we're going to have a nice half coming up next. If you want to hear the old adage, Alex,
What's the adage?
whoever wins pistol.
Wins the game?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's throw that
I'm
out
down
there.
for that.
Yeah.
Let's play that game. Currently, taking a glance at the stats, you can see that the A players were doing their duty, albeit pressured relentlessly by Flusher, but Mertz and MSL doing their thing.
All right, here we go. We're kicking it off. 13, 12, 11.
I wish they made a huge deal out of these countdowns. Like, you know how we have the countdown in Katowice when they're starting the show, and it's
Yeah.
a big musical number. Why doesn't every round, like the 10-second warm-up, like 10,
We got Hugh Jackman in
9?
Sort of
Why
musical
Hugh
number.
Jackman? Why is Wolverine involved?
Well, he's very good at singing.
Is he though?
Yeah, he is. He's very talented,
He's
Mr.
a
Hugh
national
Jackman.
treasure.
Anyway, we've got P250 flash and smoke on Valder. MSL has a Glock, 2 flashes, and a smoke. Already used one of those flashbangs. Looks like they want to use them over towards his A bomb site. And you have danger control very early on. And they're just sitting over here towards the B bomb site, making sure there is no aggression, no information plays from Fnatic. Lekra, however, does have platform control. He is able to see all the way down long. He knows nothing's there. He says, guys, don't worry about long. I got plenty of info. If they're going to come, I'm going to shoot them all in the head. Right now, North, AZ, and Mertz are rotating back towards A to reconvene with the other 3 members of their squad. So we should be expecting the smokes to come out momentarily. Going to go for window and connector, I believe. And then they're going to bust up through middle, which is where Flusher's waiting.
Flusher's going to have to do an awful lot here. It should be checked, and that's going to be 1. Nice work from him on a moving Mertz, but not much else to write home about. 4-4 now. Crim's the next to be tested, or is it Golden? He's got the CZ and does 0 with it. The Z for 0, and ooh, Crim's. Nice work from him. Just catches AZ on the clip of the wall. But the bomb goes down, and now tides do turn. It will be important now for Valder to just hold his nerve. He has that cross from ramp, and takes a bit of a beating from behind. Lekro does strike using the P2K. And this looks good for Fnatic, pushing his unit. No, Crims, it was so good before. Lost that spice for a moment. Time ticking away. No kid available, and this will be the round for North.
MSL's looking good.
Not bad, not too shabby.
Had a couple of multi-frags thus far. He is the in-game leader of the team, and that's why I may sound a little bit surprised. Now, I think MSL has had like a very similar liking for maps as I have throughout my career, and he's always liked a bit of Cobble, liked a bit of Inferno, wasn't a big Cache fan.
Cache?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
Mirage T-side calls are very similar to mine.
You feel like you can, you kind of, you and MSL are like kind of separated at birth in game leaders.
Maybe, but he's getting multi-frags and still playing. And
So there's a slight difference there.
yeah, I'm just talking about the game. But anyway, a bit of a pressure on B here early. The bomb will be heading over towards A, so all that information, all those Molotovs were meant to force out the rotation from Fnatic, which they have done, and now the mid stampede.
This is
Charges
such a tough shot to hit as well. He's opting to go for. In the meantime, though, Valder, he can hear the steps and he's going to let him pass.
JW's such a weasel, isn't he?
Isn't he?
He always finds a path. The path of
Zero
least
contact.
resistance.
Yeah, he truly does. It's insane. He's actually going to be running all the way around now, loop the loop, round the world.
Look at Valder. He's like on a
Valder's
mission.
Really hungry for this frag on JW. Look at this. This is a separate battle altogether. Screw the round. Let's watch this. It's a 1v1 battle that Valder will prevail. JW's adventure. Oh, it's not going to be rewarded. You hate to see it. Valder, $1,200 from this round alone.
Put them in the back pocket. He's going to go down eventually to flush up.
This was never a round Fnatic intended to win. Look at the positioning. Crimson's got his scout, and he's just going to be sitting. I think he's actually way up in the tower. No, where is he? Oh, now that's an angle, ladies and gentlemen. That is an angle.
That's when you find in deathmatch.
Yeah, just keep tapping
You
at
spawn in, you're like, well,
that works.
this is where I'm sitting now. Not going to chase him down. They don't want to risk giving away an AK-47, so Kyobi's going to play it safe. Can't wait for them to push him, which they will not do. Now, the fact of the matter is they're able to save a MAC-10, CZ, Scout, and a Deagle. So Flusher will probably drop the MAC-10 or the CZ. I would assume the MAC-10. So they have upgraded guns for this round once more. Now, you can choose to do a stack as a unit and hope that you find the kills, hope that they come to your lair. Or you can spread out, try and use the aggressiveness of that Scout, hit a couple of tags, get the CZ to finish them off.
You love to see this. Look at this from Mr. Who is that? AZ. He's just going to be given the sole responsibility of holding their aggression on B. The CTs have chosen to stack, and therefore, if North just decide to get a whiff of how empty that A site is, they will be all over it like a rash. One man's job to hold it at the moment. Flusher going to be backed up shortly by Lekro.
Big nade.
And look at the angle from AZ. That's going to be real solid from him.
The thing is now, though, it's how you deal with knowing that aggression came in. So you know that he pushed that far. You know that he saw one member because he died. Now, how do you react to the CTs? They haven't opted to rotate B. They're standing strong, and Flush is finding a big kill. A second MAC-10 kill onto Mertz. And now the number advantage has fallen in that of Fnatic's.
They're going to be recovering weapons from that one as well. And now down to Crims. He has got that scout. And if he just gets some damage here, a kill would have been nicer, but nothing yet. Whistles the bullet over his shoulder, and a quick reposition from AZ nets him the kill. Long range UMP. Lekro's having none of it.
There
He's got
he
the
is.
hand cannon. Hits with the Deagle. Solid work from him. He does get tagged up down to 42, but Valder and Kyobi now will be playing the afterplant. Bomb down on Statue. Lekro just pushes out willy-nilly. Golden down as well, and it will just be down to Flusher's MAC-10. He didn't even choose to grab the AK, interestingly enough.
Action there got a little bit weird. I understand why they did that flash push. They wanted to catch them off guard. When you know a player's planting, that means you only have one duel to take in a two, in a 2-on-3. If Flusher was a little bit closer, could have isolated and maybe found a kill, maybe got it down to a 1v1 scenario there. It wasn't to be, and you can see how that force buy has affected Fnatic going into this first gun round. Not enough utility across the board. Swag 7 on Golden to hold drop, not ideal, especially when retaking. You prefer a little bit more utility, a few more smokes and Molotovs.
It does look like it's been made official, Chad.
Really?
Word on the street is we have seen news source, Fragbite, I believe, have just announced that Taco has officially stepped down.
He stepped down, okay. So he was going to get replaced, and he has opted to fall on his sword, I suppose.
That's all crazy stuff, man. That's a conversation for another time, because at the moment we've got a full weapon round, and Valder, good grief, the first man in. Let it be said that Valder, the strong support player, the consistent secondary fragger, has managed to find a way in. It's Lekro who tries to close the door on them, looking for a third here, and he will be greeted by Mertz, making that rifle work. Definitely not too shabby with the AK, despite his proficiency with the AWP, and North will take themselves a 13th.
Looking very commanding here, not too far away from the victory. Fnatic will have to make the tough decision. Do we force buy? Do we try and stop the bleeding now? Or do we take an eco, give them 14 rounds, and hope that we can win quite a few in a row, because North are not too far away from finishing this one off.
Yeah, just magic number 16, just 3 away for North, and again, the Fnatic are going to have to swallow their pride and go for this half buy. Very, very quasi-buy here from them.
The Deagles, though, we have seen Lekro hitting a couple of nice shots. He could do it again, and there's a few more members on his team who are relatively proficient with it. MSL, leading by example, in-game leader gets stuck in first. He's going to see one, he's going to be on that chase.
Ooh.
He's hungry for the kills. Messel, I think they call him in Denmark.
Messel.
I don't know why.
No, it works. MSL is a bit of a mouthful. If I did that like my initials, I'd be ABR.
I'd be CMB.
I think ABR could be cool. Like
Yeah,
AB
so.
capital R.
AB capital
Like
R.
that looks kind of edgy.
Yeah,
Maybe an
I
underscore
think so.
after the R.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
that
that's
could be
not-
my
I don't
thing.
mind
Oh my! He's done it again, JW. You're such a rat.
Nice
Look
someone.
at this.
Oh,
He's
why?
fudge it all up. Just the one! Kirby down, but Lecro's doing Lecro things. The one with the Deagle, and Fnatic are once again making North sweat with this half buy. Honestly, I'm just going to start watching JW demos for how to be a irritation.
See,
He's fantastic.
he is the OG at doing what Fur does now, right?
Yes,
And we all
yeah.
praise for his aggression. The thing is, JW in his prime was doing it with an AWP.
Yeah.
So, you know, now we've got Fur who does it with rifles and all that kind of stuff. JW was the guy who was always able to find space, always able to find these key positions.
Look at his positioning.
He probably should have, well, I guess it doesn't really
He could
matter.
have knifed
Like,
someone,
knifing
yeah.
would have been like the best thing for the economy, because with that weapon he has right there, he only gets a $100 kill reward, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm laughing now, but I know if I'm in that scenario, my palms are so sweaty. I'm gonna I'll shoot him in the belly button and then switch to my knife.
That reminds me of the Bardolph clip I watched today, where he flanked through
sick flank.
ruins and then whiffed on 2 players.
Every time I watch, you know, like Bardolph's like humiliating frag highlights on Reddit, it serves as a reminder of why I shouldn't stream Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Like I look at it and go, you know what? I'm happy that it's just me that has to watch
Yeah.
these
Well,
embarrassments. But I respect it all the same. Still, let's have a look.
he's a brave man, isn't he?
He is. He's got cojones.
Drop control early. Now, this is a key part of the map to own, and Fnatic don't have the utility to get in there and take that jewel. You have to stand and wait.
God damn, it's a barbecue in there. Bonfire night. Here they come. Once again, the flames rain in. This time a bit more of an aggressive stance from Golden. He will profit. Takes MSL down towards E-Box. There is a second man there, but choosing to cower will be Valda. And this is not a win. This is not a winnable fight for him. Not sure why he pursued it. And now North are going to have to operate with just 3.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, Golden could have backed off at that point because they wouldn't have been expecting a player in JW's position anyway. Guess they didn't want to risk the pincer, but AZ with the space has been able to find a kill onto Golden. With that exchange, and now the last remaining member Mertz will be taking on 4 Fnatic members. He's going to miss the shot, go down to Crims, and maybe there's some life left in Fnatic yet. Maybe they're, well, I was going to say they'd be in prime time right now, but no, it's +7 hours to China, which they have just flown back from. It's good to sleep in your own bed.
Yeah, like, oh God, I'm one of those people that gets completely wrecked by jet lag. Like,
Really?
Like, not to East Coast, but back from.
Coming back is always worse, right?
I don't know why. Yeah, I'm a zombie for a week.
It's the same when I go back to Australia. It's always worse going home,
Right.
as opposed to. I think it's because when you go home, 90% of the time you have a little bit of downtime, so your body doesn't feel it has to get straight back in the
Not
swing
in
of
a
things.
rush.
This is a B execute. This could. Oh no, wait, it's a split. You can see that the bomb is postured over towards middle. And they are throwing some B smokes. But it is a 2-man A defense, and that's where the strength usually lies. They have forced them to drop back though.
This could be good. It's all about Flusher hitting that first shot. He will, but MSL quick with the trade, but Flusher making it work with every weapon in his arsenal. Another one. It could even be a last. No, AZ puts up a fight. 2 to 5 now. He will have a duel 1v1, and Golden will prevail. Fnatic are forging somewhat of a comeback here.
Flusher's like a Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. You know, you need to open a bottle of wine. He can do that.
Yeah, you need an AWPer.
He can do that.
You need a guy to run in with a CZ and get 2 frags.
You want someone to perpetuate a meme about lifting a mouse because people think he cheats. He can do that as well.
He can do it all.
Yeah, he can do everything you need
You need him to win 2 1v5s in a grand final in Katowice.
to get you the.
Get you into overtime, in which case you take home the grand prize and beat FaZe, who have struggled to complete a grand final despite getting to so many.
And get a
can do
notch on the
that.
belt for the Intel Grand Slam, and then put Fnatic back on an upward trajectory to go on to win the highest prize pool for the entire year at WESG over a Space Soldiers when you're 14-7 down on the last map on a best-of-3
Yeah, in Mirage.
in Mirage. And that's all happened, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in the last 3 weeks.
God, time does fly when you're having fun, and you are Fnatic. Fun for North, though, if they pick this one up. They've been having an absolute nightmare in the Pro League in converting series. They get close. I mean, we saw the head-to-head. Admittedly, every game these 2 teams play gets close. Overtime victories for North, etc., etc. Or in Seinfeld from last night, Chad. Yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada.
What was it? Oh, my ex-boyfriend, he came over and yada, yada, yada.
I'm just really tired this
I
morning.
was really tired this morning. Sorry, what?
Yes, we are losers and watched Seinfeld together last night. We didn't realize just how much was.
It's so deep.
There's so much going on in
Seinfeld
Seinfeld.
is so deep.
I thought it was just like Friends, like a sitcom.
Yeah, but Friends doesn't have the layers.
There's so many layers. It's like an onion, Seinfeld. It's like an onion comedy. And anyway, Counter-Strike, because now Golden and Flush are down. Fnatic on death's door. Crims is having absolutely none of it, though, as he's looking to send a couple of players home and down into the grave. Look at him go with a USP as well. Valda fights back, though, with vengeance. Just a 2v2. The AZ's got a scrap of HP. Crims, too. And he's on for the ace. 4 frags now. Valda taken down through the wall. Easy look at this bomb out of his grasp, 2 to find, and just 9 points of health to do it. It's not looking good.
Is he going to be a George Kramer or is he going to be a Jerry Seinfeld here?
We all know Kramer.
Kramer?
Kramer would take this one.
Kramer would probably take it.
But by going to like the C-bomb site.
Well, George will like probably somehow kill himself.
Oh, George Costanza.
Yeah. You feel bad for that guy, don't you?
I think you're like the George Costanza.
Sorry, what?
Of the group.
I said that you were Kramer. I was giving you like a good one.
That's a good
one.
one.
And I get George.
Well, who would you rather be? I mean, maybe you're more of an Elaine, actually.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, you are Elaine. I've decided.
There we go.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
At least I'm not Newman.
And 12% of our viewer base understand what we're talking about.
That's all we need.
Easy.
Oh, he saw his head. He saw the dome.
Has managed to get this bomb down. They're pushing as a unit. They know his HP's low, and AZ, you're really not going to have much chance there. The pre-fires were all ready and locked and loaded. And we have Fnatic picking up another round courtesy of Crims. It's all down to Crimsy there. 4 frags from the same position, just making stable sing.
That was already a messy round, but if Lekro had died there and was able to, like, AZ was able to buy like 1 or 2 more seconds, Crims didn't have a kit. He would have had to have picked up a kit from Lekro and then
That
start
was over,
defusing.
yeah.
And it probably would have been over. AZ may have won the round. They did take a very long time in that retake. Now the double ops is coming out. Guess who doesn't have an AWP? JW. Flusher and Lekro are the ones who are going to opt to pick it up. And that shows you this team. They just love being a hybrid. They're not necessarily pigeonholed into any roles.
And look at this stack from North. I just want to see a fast take. I haven't seen one. Like, there hasn't been a single straight all-in B take once this game from either side.
They haven't done their Le Classique, which is, you know, doing that execute where they just rain the smokes and Molotovs over into that B bomb site. But this could be it. They're putting pressure on drop. Molotov will try to mitigate, but MSL and Valda happy to push through.
This is going to be chaos. Kirby, fantastic maneuvering through the smoke. Now JW has a chance to do it as well. The smoke criminal does it again. Straight through. Profits into Kirby, but just the one. Bullets now connecting for North. Just Flusher and Crims remain as the bomb goes down. North looking to pick up 15 here. And it's a good position from Crims, actually up on top of the rock. It's 2. And just to level things out, and how on earth is he still alive? He's got backup now arriving, and this could be a problem. The flash is good, though, and North will take it.
Great flash.
Great flash coming in from Mertz to support his teammate, and that brings home 15. Just 1 away now from North, closing out our first map here.
And the money is in the bin for Fnatic, as that other round got so close. Crims having to salvage it with 4 big kills. They're going to have to scrap together the best buy that they possibly can. We're seeing Famas, CZs, Deagles, Mag 7.
7. Ooh.
It's a bit of a throwback. And only 1 CZ, so they probably won't win this round, Alex. I'm going to call it.
Do you remember JW had that sword-off fetish for a bit?
He just loved it.
He was bringing that sword off into drop on T-sides to the point of insanity. So I'm glad things have changed. Either way.
They're opting for misdirection here. They are lining up their smoke. See how they're doing that? So you can see them running into the walls and lining up, and then what they'll do is they'll leave their mouse where it is, reposition to a place where it was probably going to be obscured by a smoke.
Right.
And then it's already set up. So those are the little details, right? But it is a fast A play. Smokes, Molotovs rain in. Fnatic only have 2 members on the A bomb site ready to defend.
This should be the end of it. Crims will get 1 with the Deagle to keep things competitive. Kirby going to get caught out by Flusher, and that's going to be an AK in his hands. Don't write them out of this one yet. They actually have the numbers. Valda's trying to claw things back as he aggresses back towards long, trying to find Flusher with his scavenged AK-47. Not to be just yet, though. It's going to be Lekro and JW rotating in from that B site. They know the bomb's loose and indeed will have eyes on it should they desire. But great work from Valda. Good timing on Flusher as he did start to return to the site. Now bomb has been recovered and will be planted. Valda's on 3, looking to potentially complete the ace here to win the map. Great positioning from Mertz. He's going to get away from that one scot-free. See how quickly he just turned straight into the wall as well? Immediately aware that this trade was possible. Precise with this one and does connect onto Valda. One to find, and he's tagged him up, Mertz. Down to just a scrap of health. This should not have been a winnable round. No kit, no hope, no time. Let's just then ring a round of roses. JW's got no chance, and that will be GG indeed. Map 1 goes the way of North.
Yeah, that was really nice stuff from North. They made variations to their B hit. Normally it's that smoke wall, but they changed it up a little bit, putting numbers through drop, and also doing a bit of a limping smoke off of platform that Cbble was able to exploit. I like the adjustments. I like the fact that they're not being as cookie cutter with just their standard approach. MSL has adapted the way that he wants to take this map on, and good signs for North.
Really good stuff from North, and indeed you'll be sure to continue to join us after the break when we're going to be jumping into another game of Counter-Strike. We'll see if they can bounce back on map 2. Fnatic, they're starting to lose their footing somewhat.
Incendiary out.